Day. 60s this morning after a cold front came through last night. No rain associated with that, but we do have some clouds out there to start the new day, and temperatures today are going to be cooler for everyone. We are going to see some nice cooler and drier air develop in the Ozarks, and this is a really nice change of pace for us from all the heat and humidity that we've had around late in the weekend and at least to kick off the new work week. Cooler weather settling into the Ozarks. That's the big message for you this morning. As I mentioned, that cold front came through last night. So behind it, we've got a nice north breeze, a little bit of cloud cover to start today. But I still think we'll be dealing with a mostly sunny sky as we head through the course of the afternoon today. Not a whole lot in the way of cloud cover, especially as we get to the later hours today. All the activity across the country, well, Debbie is still the focus out on the East Coast, bringing torrential rain to parts of the Carolinas today, as well as southeastern Georgia. We are also talking about unsettled weather for the Northeast. We've got some activity out in the Rockies, and here in the middle part of the country, it's dry. We have low dew point temperatures, and that cooler, drier air will continue to stream into the Ozarks. A wide range of temperatures is what's in the forecast, though, today. And in the Springfield area, I've got us at about 88 degrees for the high temperature. Certainly more comfortable than it was yesterday. Up in central Missouri, only in the mid 80s this afternoon. We're in the low 90s still down in our far southern counties, places south of Highway 60 and down into northern Arkansas. It's just going to take a little bit of time for that cooler air to slowly filter into the region. It's happening from north to south, which is why we are seeing the cooler readings up in central Missouri today. By this weekend, it will be much cooler everywhere. And this is going to stick around into the early part of next week, too. In fact, highs maybe in the upper 70s and mid 80s for a stretch of days. That's happening this weekend through the early part of next week. So go ahead and make all the outdoor plans. Rain chances will be scattered in nature, but those do return to my extended forecast as we get into Sunday. Saturday actually looks like one of the coolest days of the work week, with highs falling back to about 78 degrees. Also, low temperatures. Wow, they're going to be comfortable. Mid 50s in the forecast, so it's going to be feeling much more comfortable for the overnight hours. It would be a beautiful weekend for camping. Just know that by the time we get to Sunday, we will start to introduce that chance for some scattered showers back into the forecast. Around the country, Debbie is making all the headlines, causing catastrophic flash and urban flooding for portions of northern Florida. I also have some incredible rains happening from southeastern Georgia back up through the Carolinas, Charleston being hit hard yesterday. Additional rain and flooding expected there today. And this is going to be just ongoing for the East Coast, as Debbie is a very slow moving storm and carried a bunch of tropical moisture with her. Also, while that's happening on the East Coast, out on the West Coast, we've got excessive heat warnings back in the forecast for parts of central and southeastern California, and much of the desert Southwest is going to start seeing some of those heat headlines redevelop back in the forecast. So there's a lot going on across the country. Here in the Ozarks, things are looking really nice for us with this cooler pattern and overall drier weather that's going to stick around too. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. Here's the question that I left you with yesterday. What is a group of ferrets called? I've never seen, I guess I've seen two ferrets in a cage at once, but if there's a whole group of them, what do you think they're called? The options were A, gaggle, B, a business, C, a murder, or D, a streak. All of these options are answers for groups of certain kinds of animals, but hilariously, a group of ferrets is called a business. Isn't that funny? I it does not seem like a group that means business, but it does. A group of ferrets is known as a business. Other names for a group of ferret would be busyness, BUSYNSS, and pheasning. It's a less common term used from Old English that means business. So now you know. A group of ferrets is called a business. Congrats if B, business was your guess. Here's a look at the next question that I'll give you for tomorrow. What was the first Disney animated feature movie that was not based on an already existing story? The options were A, Beauty and the Beast, B, The Aristocats, C, Robin Hood, or D, The Lion King? I'll have that answer for you early tomorrow morning on Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. And for a correct guess, you can win $20 to Scooters Coffee. So thank you, Scooters, for sponsoring. Also, thank you to Rescue Towing for sponsoring Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Thank you for listening this morning. And if you're enjoying the podcast, please make sure you head on over to wherever you listen to your podcast and leave us a review. I would sure appreciate that. You can also enter the Brain Twister trivia question as well as our anniversary contest at aroundtheozarks.com. Have a great day. We'll chat again